I was part of a duster, a feather who flew away with the exertion of an unknown alien force. Today I am fluttering. My destination is with the winds. I am unaware of the oncoming, yet my beliefs lie with the hereafter. In my knowing thereafter, happiness shall be ever after. I'm just going on a routine check. This is a place right behind Red Fort. It's an area called Yamuna Pushta, and we're going there to see the little children at the creche. The Balwadi is a creche for children of working mothers. So it's like a daycare center where they drop their children during the day and then they pick them up in the afternoons and take them back. And the children are prepared for admission into other schools and for mainstream education. So yes, this is my little world where I spend most of my day. When I first joined the organization, I was working with women. I was looking after women, their training, problems, counseling. But today I'm more with children, and I am looking after all the educational projects and the vocational training projects in this area. It's made me more sensitive towards other people's problems. It's because for a long time I was so involved with my own problems, my own life. It's given me a chance to see that, you know, there are people who are far worse off than I am, and it's a chance it's given me a chance to be able to help them, and it's been a very satisfying experience. I don't think I miss having a family or having children, because I have all the children I want here. I don't want to talk about it. All I can say is at the moment I find it satisfying. I'm happy. I don't know tomorrow. I still remember very vividly. It was 2nd of October 1990. It was about 2:30 in the afternoon when I was brought in right through that gate, and taken straight to the females ward, where I was lodged in cell number 1, and I spent the next 5 years of my life there. As I walked in, I had to stand in the office, in the duty for 10 minutes, and then they got a lady constable. She came in, searched me to see if I had anything with me, but I wasn't getting anything, of course. And then I was taken straight to the ward. They asked me a few questions here, where I'd come from, my father's name, my husband's name, my name, address, whatever, and they wrote all the details, and then they just sent me to the females ward. So in the females ward I went there, and it was, they were just about locking people up at that time. And they told me that I had to go to cell number 1, and they give you 4 blankets when you walk in, so that's all you get really. The cell, well, basically there was nothing apart from the 4 walls, and there was a makeshift toilet, in the sense that there was an Indian style toilet over there, but the ladies in the cell had put up a bed sheet, hung a bed sheet in front, which was like an improvised curtain, and apart from that there was nothing really. There were three women in the cell. I was totally in shock. I just cried, I think, non-stop for a week. I couldn't believe this was happening to me, and at the same time I was crying, and I was also hoping that, you know, that I'd wake up. This wasn't true. That this couldn't be happening to me. I basically came here to buy something for my friend. You know, it's so difficult to come by friends. I lost every single friend that I had when this incident happened. Anyway, this friend of mine is getting married, and I hope her marriage lasts. I hope it's good. I hope her marriage is not like mine. I remember that day so clearly when it all started. It's so vivid. After my marriage, I think I got involved in a circle that was involved in all kinds of things. I was sitting at a friend's place, and so there was the cops came, and there was a raid at their house, and everybody got taken. I happened to be sitting there. I was taken too. I was in on a drug charge. It's not that I possessed anything or I took it, but yes, definitely I knew that the people I hung out, I knew that it was the kind of thing they did. Of course, they did it because it's, you know, it's supposed to be hip, and according to them, and you know, they thought it was very fashionable, and though I knew people who were doing it, and I was around when it happened. But then after that, what happened at the police station, I don't know. because the main people walked, and there was just myself and one other person who were brought, and that I only knew the next day because we were all kept in different rooms. And these people the cops kept asking me to give them information. They were asking me for information on these people, and they said, if you give us information, we'll let you go. But I didn't want to squeal, though I knew my all these people were in the wrong. I knew my friends, my husband, everybody were in the wrong, but I didn't want to squeal on them, and not knowing that they had already played their cards, and so the whole thing was on me. I was totally ignorant of the entire judicial system, judicial procedures, like I think most of us are. So I didn't know that I could have made a noise the day I was arrested, and I did not know that they had no business to keep me in the cop station without a female there. I did not know that they are not allowed to keep me for over 24 hours. So had I known all these things, I could have made a noise about it right then and there. And that's the problem. I think most of us are not aware of our legal rights. After that, they got this paper signed, and then they got me so it's really when I came, just nearing this place, when we came towards this gate, when I heard them telling the driver, Tihar, and they did not say Tihar, they kept saying Sasural throughout, and I was wondering what are they talking about. And when I that we've got to take her to the Sasural, and I was wondering why do they want to take me there. I thought they want to take me to my in-laws' house. When I reached here, they said, oh, it's just a formality, you'll be here for a day or two, and I not for 1 minute would have thought that I'm going to spend the next 5 years of my life over here. So once I came in, I was absolutely alone because I did not dare to tell my family. It was I couldn't get myself to tell them because I was not sure how they would react. I was in a very strange situation. Friends, of course, deserted me. There were a few friends I counted. Of course, I did not expect everybody to turn up, but there were a few people that I expected would stand by me. And I waited and waited and waited for all those years, but I never saw them. That place was hell. You weren't even allowed to write. There was nothing to read. There were no newspapers. If one newspaper came in, it was so badly censored that it had more holes than articles. And so there was lots of violence, lots of drugs, all kinds of things, lots of bribery. And I remember that was probably the first shock I got when I said, I wanted to use a soap, and this female said, excuse me, that's my soap. And well, it's okay, but if you use it today, then I need one, whenever you get a visit, I need one cake in exchange. So I said, I don't know if anybody's going to come to visit me. So she said, well, then you can wash my clothes. You wash my clothes and I'll let you. So I did it because I needed the soap. And well, that's what I had to do. Also, I used to get milk to drink. Many of us on medical grounds used to get milk to drink also, and B-class prisoners used to get milk. or egg. So I used to actually have to sell that to be able to buy my soap and my toothpaste. And for years, because I could not afford to buy a shampoo, so I had to cut off all my hair. So I just went almost bald for some time, because the only thing I used to use rinse soap to wash my hair, and my hair started falling very badly, and I couldn't control it. So I cut off all my hair, and I grew. I had a terrible rash on my face and hands also. But well, that's how it is. And then I learned that literate prisoners, because these are always one made money inside. If you didn't have money, this is the only way. So I learned that literate prisoners used to write applications for the illiterate prisoners. Maybe if they were going to court, they needed to meet somebody or they needed to bring something in. And I used to have to charge them 5 rupees to write an application. I was also approached by many of the male prisoners, some terrorists and very notorious gangsters too. Some offering to get me a lawyer, being able to help me with my case. Some even offered that they send visitors, that their family would visit me. So yeah, that kind of thing happens. Had I encouraged them, definitely that would be the next step, because I'd be indebted to them. So no, I was very aloof right from the beginning. I made so even though I was single already, I always let people believe that I had a husband. That helped. I was absolutely alone throughout all this. I just had to make the most of it. I wasn't going to give up, because I realized that a lot of people probably would just gain satisfaction out of knowing that, you know, I'd probably gone mad, or I'd probably killed myself or done something equally stupid in prison. It was my problem, so I definitely felt I was responsible and I should deal with it. And I did not want to involve my family, because I did not know how they would react. I mean, they would be too shocked. It was I could not see them accepting it. And in a way, I felt that it was not fair to let them go through the tension, the humiliation, the stigma, everything. Years, nothing moved really in my case, and once the case started, I was getting a date once in 4 months, once in 5 months sometimes, and then after 4 months you go there and you're told that, you know, sorry, the judge is not on his seat, can you come after another 4 months? I mean, for them it's just one more day, it's just another hour, but for us it's a matter of our whole lives, which is something that they did not realize. And it was around that time that this new judge came, and he had a totally different approach. He just looked at this case and he says, what is she doing here? I mean, why has this case taken so long? And the funniest thing in my case was that I was charged what I was charged for was not clear in all the 5 years. Neither did I know, neither was the IO in charge able to explain. Nowhere in my challan was it clear what I was charged for. And at the end of 5 years, that I would be told that, sorry, you are discharged and acquitted. Sorry, but you had to spend 5 years of your life. While I was walking out of the court, after they told me they dropped charges against me, and I was walking out of the court, and the judge called me back, and he says, where are you going to? Where is your family, and where is your house and things? So I told him I have nothing. I have nothing, because when I came here, I don't know who it was among my friends, but somebody went and ransacked my entire house. I had not one pin to my name. I was just happy to walk out, even though I didn't have anything. I just needed to start life all over again. The most important thing I'd tell any woman who went through the experience that I did is that she's got to be strong enough. Freedom is not the end of the rainbow, as most of us think. Once you're out, it's far more challenging. There's a lot of things to face, and they've got to learn how to live with the stigma, because the stigma will always be there. No matter where you go, what you try and do, you can do the most brilliant things, but you'll still have to live with that stigma. Somewhere along the line, people are still going to say, oh, this person, spent so many years in prison. Because when I first came, everybody looked at me like I was an alien. And in fact, there's still people, even now, a lot of people don't know about it, because it does come in the way of work. So everybody has a very fixed notion of, somebody who's been in prison, and that person can never be right. It's same with the media. I've had terrible experiences with the media. When I came out, when they came, interviewed me or something, and then I had headlines, the most horrible things said about me. And things like, ex-con trying to do good, things like that, sarcastic, which was totally uncalled for. And they were just doing it to sensationalize, the whole thing. So like I'm saying, a lot of people would think, oh, how is she telling? Because I have to deal with a lot of people. I have 120 people working under me. There was an incident when I first joined where a junior staff couldn't accept me because I took over. She had been there for some time and she couldn't accept, and she refused to listen to me. And one day when I told her that she had to, I was a bit firm with her. She screamed in front of all the students that, who are you to tell me anything? You're just out of, what would you know what's right and wrong? You're just out of prison yourself. I was shocked. I just walked out from there and I went, of course, I was naturally very hurt about it, and I did report it report the matter, and eventually she was thrown out because she could not accept me, and she kept doing those things. So she was asked to leave. But I mean, you know, the damage is done. Saying that in front of students. I've coped up in the sense, I think in all spheres where people have some way or the other tried to show or tried to remind me of the fact, or tried to show me that, you know, because of my past, I would not be able to go very far in whatever I was doing or whatever I wanted to do. They were always constantly trying to remind me, remarks being passed in a very derogatory fashion. But it's something I accepted. It's something I accepted, and I knew that I had to live with it. Many women have visited me after their release. I have counseled a number of them. Many of them have worked with me. Unfortunately, not many were able to stick on. But like I said, it's difficult for women to... Society somehow doesn't allow a woman, unless she's extremely strong, to live on her own, with, especially knowing she's come out of jail. So most of the time what happens is either they get sucked back into crime, or they take a protection of some local dada or a drug baron or something, and in either ways they most of the time get sucked back into the vicious circle. Well, in the near future, I do plan to publish my biography, and I hope it can help and inspire a lot of women who are, especially Indian women, who have been and could be in the same position that I was. So I'm hopeful that it could inspire them and make them stronger. Lonely and shattered, I think, in my cell, cheated by life with no one to tell. A life full of misery, sorrows and woes. A world full of deceit and friends who turned foes. Withdrawn and aloof, I have learned to retreat, not surrender my life or bow down in defeat. Often with anger, my blood starts to curdle, but then I think to myself, it's just one more hurdle. And face it and cross it I definitely will. To survive and to strive, life's dreams to fulfill, where I turn over a new chapter and start a new page.